One. You're live.
Mama, I'm going live.
What's up, guys? We're live, and we're going over Super Bowls ever since the which Super Bowl, Dave, are we starting with?
34, so 25 years of Super Bowls.
Super Bowl
Rank.
34. Dave's microphone's on this time, by the way, so we can hear him. Thankfully, I know not everyone wants that, but it's okay.
Can't silence me.
All right, so we are starting with Super Bowl 34, which is the Titans versus the Rams. That is quite a Super Bowl to start with. We were going to start with Super Bowl 35, but we're like, go one more ahead. We can include this guy, which is an awesome Super Bowl. What do you got, Dave?
I'm going to go up there and put it in the legendary tier. Like, the way that game ended,
Yeah.
like, if you show any crazy Super Bowl ending, it has to be included, where the guy's literally reaching for the end zone and it comes up a yard short.
It's a top 5 Super Bowl for me, easily.
It's pretty good. I will say it's pretty good.
Legendary. It's 100% legendary Super Bowl for me as well.
Yes.
Moving on. This one's a little sour for us, but Super Bowl 35, Ravens versus the Giants.
Oh, I just hated those against the Giants. Like, honestly, I'm not a Ravens hater, but if there's one Super Bowl I will just be disgusted with, just out of just team loyalty, it'd be this one. But I'm putting it in. I'm gonna put in the below average / blowout tier because, don't get me wrong, probably one of the greatest defenses ever in Super Bowl history, probably NFL history. But it was not great in Super Bowl.
It's almost super bust for me. It's super bust for me.
It's border super bust. I'm like,
it's right there. It's bad. Yeah, it's so bad because if you remember the NFC Championship game, the Giants destroyed the Vikings,
41-0,
clobbered their faces, and then they went into the Super Bowl. Giants fans were like, "All right, here we go," and then they got destroyed themselves.
I think the Vikings were 15-1 that year, actually.
Vikings were very good. Everyone thought the Vikings were going to win that year. They were very, very good.
Do you know on that Ravens coaching staff, like this is just the defensive staff. You have Marvin Lewis, who became the Bengals head coach.
What's up, Will? Yeah, we got Will in chat.
We had Jack Del Rio, and then you had Rex Ryan on that defensive staff alone.
Yeah. Yo, I sing in my car. What's up, dude? How we doing, guys?
What's up?
Will says Rams Pats is definitely super bust.
Oh yeah. Don't spoil it.
Will, gosh.
Will,
damn it. Yeah. Rams Patriots super bust.
Rams Patriots. Well, the second one. Just we're gonna get there, okay?
This one. All right. Yeah. This one. You're right. I'm confusing them.
Yeah.
Where do you have this one? Rams Patriots Super Bowl 36, Dave.
I am putting it in the great category.
In the great category, yeah. I was confusing it. I was confusing it with something.
Yeah. Rams Patriots 1 is definitely in the great category. Tom Brady gets his first Super Bowl and it's the birth of the dynasty.
Yeah. Will says Rams Pats is definitely a super bust, so.
Yeah.
All right. Super Bowl 37. I remember this was a very interesting Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was a very interesting Super Bowl. I used to be a big Bucs fan. A lot of Bucs players I loved a lot as a kid. But I'm still putting this in the below average / blowout because
it wasn't that entertaining too. If I
the Raiders just got destroyed defensively. It wasn't like the Bucs had a great offense, but their defense scored 3+ defensive touchdowns.
Yeah. Not that
Rich Gannon had 5 picks.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great. So where are you putting this, Dave?
I'm putting it in the below average / blowout category.
Below average for sure. All right, here we go. We've got Panthers versus the Patriots.
I'm going to go with great on this because it's kind of along the same lines as the first Rams Patriots. It was two very good teams. It was definitely higher scoring, but I would definitely put it in the great category. It was a great Super Bowl for that.
Yeah.
For 2000s.
Yeah. I agree. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it in great. It's almost okay for me, but I think it was a good Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Super Bowl 39, Eagles versus Patriots.
I'm gonna put the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna put okay. The
Okay.
Patriots were the Patriots were never in doubt of winning that thing, and the Eagles never really got any sort of like groove going. Like the score was close. The score shows it was closer than it actually was.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Icing in my car says, which was the Janet Jackson boob flop Super
Oh,
Bowl?
that was which one was that?
Which one was that?
I think that was Rams Patriots one. That was Rams Patriots one.
It was that one? It was that one?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
sure?
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
All right. And then, you okay? The cat
I'm
is below me for some reason, which is uncommon.
oh.
Um, Something's going on with her. Who made that sound? I think she's got a piece of something in her mouth.
Uh
Give me a second, guys. Hang on.
oh. Do 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 do. See, this is where I kind of wish I had my computer because I can see what you guys are saying in chat. Hmm. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. See, guys, I knew I should have brought my computer. Why does Tyler never remind me to bring my computer? uh,
1 second, guys. My cat got sick. I was like, something's wrong. I was like, she's coming to me for some reason, and she just
oh,
threw up real fast. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So sorry.
okay. Should I keep on going or
No, but you can talk football.
okay?
Talk about this Super Bowl or something. Go ahead.
Well, okay. So for those of you who are hating on this Super Bowl, I will say this: I think it will be a close game. Like honestly, not the teams I want to see in the Super Bowl. I just wanted out for the record. I wanted Bills and Lions just like everyone else. Would have been happy with Bills and Commanders, but it's okay. I think we got two good teams in the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs played like they did against the Bills, I think they'll be okay. I do not agree with every call that they made the other day or last week, but I will say, relax. The Chiefs are not going to go 20 years like the Patriots. Okay, just chill. They're not. They're not Patriots level annoying yet. They're getting there. I will say I did not want the. All right, I'll say this. I would have preferred another team to make the Super Bowl just for the sake of variety. But you also can't ignore Patrick Mahomes is a pretty good player. I mean, he's more entertaining to watch than Tom Brady, that's for sure. Tom Brady is just boring. Played his game really well, but I mean, come on. And for all you who think that Patrick Mahomes gets stupid calls, well, Tom Brady got stupid calls too. Anytime a quarterback or a defensive guy touched him, roughing the passer, roughing the passer. So it goes both ways. Okay, it goes both ways. Definitely would watch Patrick Mahomes over Tom Brady any day. I will say this: I don't watch halftime shows anymore, so I'm like, I can't really say I watch the halftime show. Um, Definitely think it'll be a good game, though. Definitely also think this will be Travis Kelce's last game. Yeah. I think normally when the players get to the point where they're not involved or start to stink, which I think he's the former Kelce, but I would say he retires after this game. He really wasn't very involved this year. He had like a couple good moments, but total decrease in production and participation since last year, like dramatically. So I would say it's the last game for Travis Kelce, and I actually say the Eagles would win. Believe it or not, I think the Eagles are just too good this year, and annoyingly so.
All right, I'm back.
All right,
Sorry, guys.
do we
I could
lose
tell
all of
something
our
was wrong. I was like, something's going on.
do we lose all of our viewers?
No, still here. I think you gained some.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. No, we still
yay!
got Will. We still got icing.
Okay,
David's just chilling. He's dancing to the music in his head. Will, as long as there's no three-peat, we're okay. I agree, Will. He wouldn't leave Patrick Mahomes like that. I think he's got one more year.
I think this is his last year.
Taylor Swift made a comment. She goes, why would I tell the greatest tight end of all time to stop? That's kind of hinting towards she likes it too.
But I mean, he really just was not. He was not used a lot this year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of injury. It was just like, well, they kind of started spreading the ball around a little more, which is nice. I think this is definitely his last year.
Yeah. All right. Next is Super Bowl 40. Super Bowl 40 is the Seahawks and the Steelers.
I don't know about you. I put this one in below average. It was a below average game.
It was not that memorable.
No.
It's one of those Super Bowls you're like, wait, I forgot about that one.
I think in the first, that was actually like I said, when I was a huge Steelers fan as a kid.
Yeah.
I was more excited then, but looking back on it now, I'm like, it really wasn't that great of a Super Bowl. No. Ben Roethlisberger, I think, threw for like 10 yards in the first quarter or something like that. He did not play well. I mean, it had a couple like memorable plays with push off offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
That cost the Seahawks a score.
That was with Sean Alexander, right?
Yeah. And then the end around reverse throw to Antoine Randall by Hines Ward. That was a good play. And then the longest run in Super Bowl history by Willie Parker. Other than that, not too much.
Next we have the famous Rex Grossman. The Colts versus the Chicago Bears.
That was another forgettable Super Bowl. I'm putting that below average.
That's a below average one. Yep.
Yeah, you would think Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl would be more memorable, but that's just a very forgettable Super Bowl.
That's one of the worst quarterbacks to make it to a Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Rex Grossman, yeah. That was one of those true testaments to defenses win you championships. They had a very good defense, the Bears, that year. I remember that. But
Lovie Smith is a good coach. I hate that after he went 10-6 with the Bears, they fired him.
Yeah.
On his second job with the Bears.
Super Bowl 42, New York Giants versus the New England Patriots.
I'm sorry, we have to give this his proper place. GOAT.
The GOAT. The greatest Super Bowl of all time. Hands down, in my opinion. Let's hang on. Full disclosure, Dave and I are biased. We are New York Giants fans. But aside from that,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter. Aside from that, just the story of the undefeated team coming in, right? And just how scary the New England Patriots were. And the Giants were like a wild card team, weren't they, right?
They were the first number 5 seed to win a Super Bowl at that time. And they were Vegas. They were like, I think, the least favored Vegas odds in sports history. The Patriots beat their opponents by an average of 2 scores that year.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close most games.
Yeah.
And then who makes like a legendary performance in the Super Bowl? Eli Manning, who is not the most legendary quarterback. He's like the best 500 quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
and he threw it to to the most obscure player in history or the Super Bowl history, David Tyree.
It's for me the best Super Bowl ever. It's a nail biter basically to the bitter end, and it's you take out the perfect soldier, the perfect storm, the perfect team with a God sent play of, in my opinion, the greatest play in NFL history with the helmet catch.
Oh yeah.
Eli
Did
Manning
you
looks
ever
like
hear?
he's about to die, and then he emerges from the heavens in glorious fashion, chucks the ball down the field, and then it's just like you're just like, dude, God was on the
And
Giants' side that
honestly,
night.
one of the most underrated defenses in Super Bowl history. Like the amount of times they pressured, sacked
I
Tom
would
Brady.
I would say going into it, I would say after that
Yeah,
people realized how great that defense was.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty studded. It starts studded, and like I said, it was the most entertaining game. I'll grant it. The game really didn't start till like the fourth quarter, but it was the
Yeah,
most badass, and it was the most badass, greatest Super Bowl of all time.
it was so
It
good.
had it had the perfect balance of story, and then just pure like awesomeness, like great plays and
Yeah,
whatnot.
just the postseason also in general for the Giants was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's the ultimate Cinderella story in sports.
Yeah,
So sorry, I mean
Super
I will say,
Bowl
yeah, okay.
43, Cardinals
No,
versus Steelers.
that was another good one. I'm putting that in the great category.
It was pretty good.
That I'll put that in great because Steelers again. That was like a pretty back and forth game.
Yeah,
And remember Antonio Holmes catching on like the corner of the sideline or corner of the end zone. I mean,
yeah,
that was an insane throw. Like there was a couple Super Bowls like in the past recent years that had like these crazy catches, like between the David Tyree catch, Santonio Holmes, Mario Manningham, and then like just so many ones.
yep. It was pretty good.
And then I mean the 92 touchdown return by James Harrison too.
Yeah, that was great.
That was the ultimate game changer.
Super Bowl 44, the Saints versus the Colts. This was a pretty good one. This was two very high caliber quarterbacks going at it.
Yeah, I'm like between great and okay, like because the Saints pulled away towards the end, so it wasn't as close as it seemed.
Yeah.
Um, I mean their defense also just um they brought Peyton Manning down to earth a little bit that game, and I mean onside kick, the ambush onside kick that we'll never be able to use in the Super Bowl again now because of like the stupid new rules.
Yeah.
Um, that I mean, great coaching, great coach won, great team won, but I wouldn't say it was like a great
I'm gonna
Super
put
Bowl.
okay. I'm gonna put okay on
Yeah,
that one.
I'd put it in okay.
Steelers, Green Bay.
Another one, it was like okay, like with those teams, like those two historic teams in general, you would expect a better Super Bowl. But again, the Packers never really gave up control of that game.
Right.
The Steelers made it close, but you knew from pretty early on the Packers were going to win.
Yeah.
Not the greatest Steelers team either.
It was I want to say okay for that one too. Steelers versus Green Bay. I'm trying to remember the score. I feel like it was actually decently close.
It was like 35 to
25 to
20.
31. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
decent game. It was definitely at least okay.
yeah, I put it in okay. I remember how sick I was for that game.
Yeah.
I had the flu. Watch.
Super Bowl 46, the New York Giants versus the New England Patriots.
I'm going to put that in the great category because it was another one where Giants were in favor to win. Not as legendary or great as the first 142, but again, great ball out performance by the
Yeah, at
Giants.
this point too, Tom Brady is already being considered the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah,
You know, and to
and
go in there
another
and beat him,
and another
it's a great Super Bowl. Yeah,
Eli. I will say, Eli, the team overall was slightly better this Super Bowl. Not one sided defense. I think the offense was a lot better this Super Bowl for the Giants.
who was our running backs for that first Super Bowl?
Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then this one was
More Ahmad Bradshaw, but Brandon Jacobs was still there.
and Ward, right? Wasn't this Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Well, he was there for the first one too, but he was injured during that Super Bowl.
Right. They stuck with them that long? I didn't realize.
Yeah, they were able to keep that team together for a while.
I never realized that. That's interesting.
The only pieces they really lost after that were Michael Strahan and then
Mario Manningham.
Yeah. Well, Mario Manningham was there for the second one.
Super Bowl 47, the Harbaugh Bowl. 49ers versus Ravens.
That game was memorable only because of how the lights went out at halftime.
Lights went out.
The game that played.
It's the brothers playing each other.
Yeah, like the Niners made a semi comeback, but I would put that one. I'll put it in the okay category. Ravens pretty dominant. That was Ray Lewis's last game.
Yeah.
Again, a memorable Super Bowl, but definitely not the greatest.
Right. Seahawks Broncos Super Bowl 48.
I don't know whether to call this a super bust or a below average game because two number one seed teams, like the greatest offense that year versus the greatest defense.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the Broncos had like the number 2 or 3 defense that year.
Yeah.
So like everything pointed like the Broncos it was gonna be a great game, and it was total like blowout.
43-8 was the score of that Super Bowl.
Like from like literally the first snap.
Yeah.
Botch a snap goes over Peyton Manning's head. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
What am I about to watch? And there was maybe one time where the Broncos looked like they could come back, and I think they were driving, then they got picked.
Yeah.
I'm definitely putting,
I'm going super bust.
Yeah,
the Broncos did not show up for that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm literally right there. So I would say that like below average / yeah, super bust
for me.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 49.
I'm putting that in the legendary category.
Legendary? I don't know how to like. It's so odd to me. It's such an odd Super Bowl. Me. It's a nail biter, obviously. It's fun to watch. And for it to end the way it did, it's like a bad ending. Like, it's one thing to end on a good play, but to end on a bad play, well, on such a huge error, is so weird to me. A whole NFL season ending on such huge error left a very sour taste in my mouth, personally.
It is definitely polarizing because I think this is like the last year. I think the Patriots were really dominant.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was a terrible call not to run with Marshawn Lynch on the goal line. That's like not running with Derrick Henry in today's NFL.
It's wild. Yeah, I think it's either great or legendary, though. It's a good game. It was a very good game. I'm
putting in legendary just because also at this point, this was like defining Super Bowl. This is like the 4th Super Bowl. This was like the first Super Bowl win of a new Patriots dynasty.
Yeah.
And remember, like, obviously, for the like 2 Super Bowls before this, the Patriots lost to the Giants, so they were like on the verge of like being a forgotten dynasty.
Yeah, you thought they were done, right?
Yeah, you thought they were done until they won this game.
And so then we go to Super Bowl 50, the Broncos versus the Panthers.
This was disappointing. I'm calling this a super bust.
I think I'm with you. With you on this one. Broncos versus Panthers.
You had a great Panthers team get like totally stuffed by the Broncos defense, and Peyton Manning and Cam Newton, who were the 2 greatest quarterbacks in the league at that time, did not have good games.
No.
This was like watching like 2 Ferraris like go 30 miles per hour.
Yeah, Cam Newton, 265 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception.
And that fumble. That fumble cemented his like that set the cap for his career.
Peyton Manning, fumble. 0 touchdowns, 141 yards, 1 interception.
Like this was like
it's
honestly
a super bust.
Yeah.
It's a super bust, for sure.
I feel terrible saying this because Peyton Manning is such a great quarterback, but the Broncos could have won that with Brock Osweiler.
Yeah. I agree. All right, here's an interesting one because I hate the Patriots.
I
But
know, I
Super
did.
Bowl 51, Patriots versus Falcons, an amazing fourth quarter comeback by the Patriots, unheard of.
Yeah,
Absolutely mind-boggling.
28-3. Like any blown lead after that is synonymous. Is like that's what it basically is. Like every blowout in any sport where a team comes back from that large of a point difference, they always reference it to this game.
Yeah.
So I'm putting it.
It's
I'm putting it
legendary.
legendary.
It's
I'm
legendary.
putting it
People are always
legendary.
going to talk about that game.
I hate how I hate the Patriots, but if I have to be objective, it is definitely in the legendary
It's legendary.
Terrible blown lead by the Falcons. I remember I was so freaking happy. I made it, my friend Chris. I made a deal with Chris not to say anything about the Super Bowl until afterwards. But with my other mate, MK, I made no such promises. So I was going into it, I'm like, oh my gosh, Patriots are so fake, la la la. And then afterwards,
Dude,
my phone has never blown up the same. Like
dude.
I will never make this mistake again.
I won't disclose any names or anything. I don't think I should, but I'm friends with a guy who helps people with sports betting, right?
Oh man.
And he advises them on how to sports bet, and he told one of his clients, he said, like, a quarter into the game, he was like, take your money, put it on the Falcons. He's like, the Falcons are going to win this game. Once it got to a certain score, he's like, take your money, put your money onto the Falcons. And he was like, and he's one of those like Rain Man guys, like he can calculate things.
Yeah.
Dude, he was watching the game with me, and he looks at me, he's like, Tyler, he's like, the odds of the Patriots winning the game like they did is astronomically.
Yeah.
He's like, if I asked you to flip a quarter 100 times in a row and you hit heads every time, like
it was probably like more than the Giants to win in 42.
It was
like the chance of them coming.
Wild. He's like, I've never seen something like that happen before.
I will say this too, though. I mean, obviously the Patriots were great. They went to a couple of Super Bowls after that, but that was like the first game where I'm like, okay, the Patriots are not dominant like they used to. They had a great defense that year, but their offense now only surrounded around Tom Brady and Gronk, which they did not have the same talent cluster that they did the years before.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the end for the Patriots for me. As odd as it sounds with the Super Bowl runs coming after that, that was the beginning of the end for me.
Patriots Eagles Super Bowl 52.
I'm gonna put that in the great category because it was high scoring, had some memorable plays, and again another funny story.
It's a great Super Bowl, Dave.
Yeah, it's a great Super Bowl.
It's not legendary.
No, it's not legendary.
I hate both the teams, but I have to admit it was a great game to watch.
It was a very great game to watch.
I'm trying to not watch from a Patriot fan standpoint or an Eagles fan standpoint. From a, I don't know, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan standpoint or whatever, and you're watching the game.
It was, in the modern NFL, people like the high scoring games, and that was probably the most, like that literally was definition the highest scoring game between two teams and like the most yards in a single game.
And the Philly special, and going in against the dynasty of the New England Patriots, and you're using your backup quarterback Nick Foles.
I might have to move that up to legendary because remember they did do it with backup Nick Foles.
I think it's legendary. They did it with a backup versus the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, and they went out there and they beat him, and they used a special play. It's kind of like the Giants game in a way.
Yeah, I'll move it up to this. I'll move it to legendary.
Yeah, I hate it because I hate both those teams. I remember like, why, God, why?
Yeah.
And even then, I still get this crap. I still get Chiefs Eagles, and then Chiefs Eagles again now.
Yeah, I mean, I will say too, I was rooting for the Eagles that game. I know it's sorry.
Yeah.
But I was rooting for the Patriots until both Chris and my roommate MK were like getting so insufferable because at that point they had the 5 Super Bowls where they're gonna go for 6.
I have to ask. Hang on, I have to ask. Is your buddy Chris still a Patriots fan, or is it?
No, he's now a Bucks fan.
Get out! Yeah, of course. Yeah, where'd all those Patriots fans go? Where'd they go, guys? Where'd they go?
He was a Bucks fan as soon as Tom Brady left.
Yeah, where'd they go? Where'd all those Bucks fans go, guys? I like teams that win. Get out of
At
here.
least now he can say he's a Bucks fan because he likes a team more than
Oh my gosh.
Tom Brady.
Oh my gosh. Patriots versus the Rams, Super Bowl 53. Super Bowl 53, Patriots versus the
It,
Rams was awful.
this was super bust. In fact, this is the super
This
bust.
is like, if I could go lower with it, this was probably the worst Super Bowl in recent years, at least.
Oh my god, probably I would have to
What
say.
a snooze fest. Horrible.
And you know what? The only good thing that came out of this was I won $1,100 in Super Bowl squares.
Oh, okay, there you go.
And oh my god, that like the worst way to win six
Horrible.
Super Bowl.
Horrible.
The worst. And
Horrible
you know
Super
what?
Bowl.
That was a year where I was crying. I was demanding a Rams Chiefs Super Bowl because that was when the Chiefs and Rams played that one game in the regular season.
Yeah.
That had like 5 lead changes. I'm like, give me this for a Super Bowl. And then the Patriots got a stupid call against the Chiefs. See how that works now? See how it
Yeah, that works.
goes full circle?
Yeah.
And oh my god, it should have been Chiefs Rams that year. Or at the very least, Chiefs and Saints. The Saints were a great team that year, but they got ripped off with a pass interference in the NFC Championship game.
Super Bowl 54. We're going
Or
Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is
That was a-
Mahomes' first appearance.
that was a good one.
It was decent. It was a
I'll put
decent
that-
little game.
okay.
They pulled away, though. They pulled away. It was the final score was 31-20.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really good San Francisco team, too. I was actually rooting for the Chiefs during that Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a decent game. It was a decent
It was-
game. Where are you putting this one at? I think I'm in the okay realm with it.
I'm
Okay
in
or
the-
great? I'm in there.
Yeah, I'm in the okay category.
Well, you got to pick one. You got to help
I'm
me
in
out.
the okay.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go okay on this one. All right, it was close to great though. I would say it's probably
was,
the best
yeah.
okay one in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's one: Battle of the Potential Goats. Battle of the Potential Goats.
I'm putting this in super bust because for the billing, it was so bad.
It was bad.
It was supposed to be like this matchup between two super teams, the old guard versus the new guard.
Yeah.
Literally just was a dud. It was an absolute dud. I'm putting super bust.
Super bust. Yeah. Dave, we hit 9 viewers at one point.
Wow.
It's because we're not streaming in the morning.
Yeah, I know that too.
All right, I'm gonna put super bust on that one. That was a total Tom
Yeah.
Brady just hanging low on Patrick Mahomes' face. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Bengals versus Rams.
You know, I'm putting that.
I thought it was decent.
I thought it was decent too.
It was actually a decent little game.
I'm putting okay.
I'm going great, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Bengals fan. I'm going great because that was a pretty close game up until the very end. It was two
really was.
teams. I like that it wasn't one of these like, okay, it's the Chiefs or okay, it's the Patriots. It's like fresh teams, and it's not a team I didn't like. It's like some good teams that are typically popular amongst other teams like Bengals and Rams.
They weren't your perennial teams to make the Super Bowl, but they were like they were good teams that year.
Yeah.
Like Rams, Rams were a very good team that year. Like everyone knew, like as soon as they got Matt Stafford, I'm like, oh, Rams are gonna pop off this year, and they did.
Yeah.
No one saw the Bengals getting that hot. So,
dude, that's when that's when you find out Joe Burrow was legit. Because Joe Burrow comes in and he's the most contacted quarterback in the entire league, but still made it to the Super Bowl.
I mean, he had a great team.
Yeah, there was some that game could have easily been the Bengals too. There was some actually bad calls in that game as well.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
There was a holding call in the end zone on the Bengals. I'm like, come on, bro. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
I'm going great on this one. I think this was a good fresh Super Bowl.
It was definitely one of those reset Super Bowls where
Yeah.
you didn't get the same teams you always see.
It's kind of like the changing of the tides. Kind of like, all right, here comes the Chiefs, Patriots on the way out.
It was that brief period where like the where there was no like solid team or dynasties yet.
Yeah. 23-20 was the score of that Super Bowl, by the way. That's a
Yeah,
close game. And like,
that's
yeah,
right.
Bengals were 13-8, decent team. Rams were
Yep.
16-5. Like, there were some good teams. Rams
Hmm.
were stacked though. Rams were
Yeah.
like Miami Heat back in the day. You know what I mean? Stacked. All right, here's the game. Here's the Super Bowl nobody wants. Super Bowl 57. Chiefs versus Eagles.
I'm gonna put in a great category because it was very high scoring
It was a
and
good game. It was a good
it was
game.
back. It was back and forth.
Yeah, it was
You
a good
guys,
game. Even though
yeah,
now I don't like either of those teams, it's a good
yeah,
game. So we're putting this guy in the great category.
yep.
A great one. Super Bowl 58. The rematch. Kansas City
See,
for San Francisco 49ers.
I think this Niners team was the best team not to win a Super Bowl during this time period.
And it
I'm just,
sucks because of the previous game.
yeah, like it was the greatest team not to win a Super Bowl or greatest team not to win a Super Bowl. The Chiefs were obviously I was rooting for the Chiefs last year, but I'm like I wouldn't be disappointed if the 49ers won because of how good they were.
Yeah. 22-25 was the score. It was a good game.
It was overtime,
Yep. It was a
so
good game.
I'm putting great because it was not only just a great game, but
Yeah.
also great.
Chat, where are you guys putting it? We got 10 people watching right now. Where are you guys putting this one? I think it is a great. I think it's a great also.
I would say great game, great team. I will say though, and the Chiefs have been not playing as good as they used to. Like the first two Chiefs Super Bowls were like the first Niners and the Bucks.
Yeah.
I thought those Chiefs teams were great.
Right.
Like they were like really fun to watch. Like this year and last year's Chiefs team, like they play good. I mean, their defense is much better, but I'm like they're not as fun to watch.
Right.
Like
Right.
they're not as creative as they used to be.
So our list is done. We just finished. That was the last one. Greatest of all time, Super Bowl 42. I agree. I think for anyone that wasn't, even if you're not a Giants fan, and it's not coming from any bias from us, and it might be to some degree, but so good, so good.
8 wins
Going
and
up
one
against
giant loss.
going up against the possible, like if they win that Super Bowl, that team would have been considered the greatest team of all time.
Oh yeah.
If they
I mean,
win that
honestly,
Super Bowl.
I said the Niners, but they're probably the greatest. The Patriots are probably the greatest team never to win that Super Bowl.
For real, that they are the greatest team to not win the
That's
Super Bowl that year easily. If
my definition.
the greatest second place team of all time in NFL is hands down that team,
Oh yeah.
for sure. No, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. The 2007 Patriots, insanely good. Randy Moss, insanely good. No one wanted to play them. The best part was, remember that game right before the playoffs where the Giants were like, "Oh wait a second, we can bang. We can bang with these boys." They almost had them. I remember watching that game. I'm like, "Yo, Giants are actually kicking ass."
I
right
do
now.
too. Everyone was like, "Oh, they should just rest their starters. Save time for the play. Save their starters for the playoffs." Patriots like, "No, we're going for the record," and the Giants were like, "Well, fine. We're going to try to beat you."
Yeah.
It was totally back and forth until the end. It was like that's when the Giants were like, it was one of those losses. You're like, we lost, but we can hang.
But we could hang. We could hang. Yeah. Couple different calls, couple different plays, totally different ball game, boys. Let's run it back. And thankfully they got back to Super Bowl. So when they got back to Super Bowl, the Giants were like, "Oh crap, we're playing the Patriots." If it wasn't for that game before, if it wasn't for that game before, they're like, "Oh, what's up, boys?" They're like, "Hey, remember me? You just punched me in the face a couple weeks ago. Time to get payback, bitches."
There's also a great clip where because we got to Brady a lot of that game too. There's a clip of him looking at Osi Umenara, kind of like definitely respect you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. We were also the perfect storm for them.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get in Tom Brady's face and get him flustered. Definitely, we were the perfect storm for them.
We didn't. That's Steve Spagnuolo. I know he was only defense coordinator for 1 year with the Giants, but I mean, honestly, that great defensive game plan, getting his face, and also offense. Like we never let their offense really touch the ball that much.
Yeah.
Our first drive was.
I'm surprised Steve isn't a head coach anymore.
He wasn't that great of a head coach, but
he's phenomenal with defense, though.
great defensive coordinators.
Great defense.
I honestly, like, one of the reasons why I do root for the Chiefs, because I really do like Spags.
So we've
Again,
got some Extreme Jelly Fisher just commented in chat. They posted 5 eagle birds in chat. It must stand for the 5 different bird teams in the NFL. It must be what it stands for, right, Extreme Jelly Fisher? So this way, when you say "Go Birds," you're rooting for all those teams, right? Extreme Jellyfisher, what's going on? I'm just messing with you. Just mess with you. Apparently you're an Eagles fan. Dave, show him the sweatshirt, baby. Show him the sweatshirt, baby. Oh, God. Not those birds, Dave. Put those birds away. Good Lord.
You showed me his birds. I'm going to show him mine.
Unbelievable. We're rocking right now with 11 viewers right now. Extreme Jellyfisher. I will say this. As Giants fans, we still put your Super Bowl 52 right up here as legendary. So we will disclose that to you. All right?
Yeah.
That was a great Super Bowl, the Philly special, and to do it.
And one of the few times I actually rooted for the Eagles that game. But again, I paid for the 3 Super Bowls after that. Yeah. So
we're up to 12 viewers right now, Dave.
Wow.
We've been doing it wrong.
Okay. Well, let's keep this train going.
Keep this train going, baby.
Besides the Patriots, who is your top team not to make the win the Super Bowl?
Okay, so top team to not win the Super Bowl, but was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Top team to win the Super Bowl, to be in the Super Bowl but not win.
I think we can agree with the 2007 Patriots. No one's going to dispute that.
Yeah, they're hands down the greatest team ever to not win it, for sure. No one's going to argue that whatsoever. I think the best team to ever not win it, aside from 07 Patriots, I'm looking at the list right now. I might go with the Broncos that one year, where Peyton Manning just totally flopped. That's a good team, dude.
Yeah,
the Broncos are a good team. That's a good one. The Panthers too. Panthers were nasty that year.
Oh no, they were really good, but
Panthers were nasty, Dave. Remember remember the Panthers Giants game? Was it Panthers Giants, or am I thinking of the Panthers Saints game? I think that's the same 2 weeks actually.
Odell and then Josh Norman. Yeah, everyone thought that was going to be like the next Deion Sanders and Jerry Rice kind of rivalry.
Yeah,
never panned out, but
that was remember Eli Manning versus Drew Brees, like both of them just slinging it that one game.
Yeah,
that was great, amazing. That's like Eli's best game statistically, and he still lost it.
Yeah, I know. I think that guys kind of showed you how bad our line was, or our defense was at that time.
Yeah,
but my team is definitely the Niners. The last year's Niners. Last year's Niners team, like they were a very complete team last year.
The question right now, guys, we have 14 viewers. The question right now, guys, is what's the best team to be in a Super Bowl and not win it, except for the 2007 New England Patriots, which I think everyone agrees is the best one.
In the past 25 years.
In the past 25 years, yeah, we'll be honest. Because we don't know any better than that. Yeah, so in the past 25 years, who would that be? I might go with the Panthers, man. That was a good team. That was a really good team. That was prime Cam Newton.
It was also the start. It was his peak too, because he just went down from there.
Yeah, he was a very hot for 3-4 years and then vanished. Well, which is weird for a quarterback.
Well, he had the car accident. He actually had a string of injuries, and it's funny because after that Super Bowl, I remember reading somewhere he changed his diet. So he changed his diet in a way that I forget, it was vegan or whatever. It was like a strange diet that a football player would never go on. And after that, he became more injury prone.
Yeah. Yeah,
so,
plus you get older. I get it.
Yeah. I know you do. Look at all that gray hair on your head.
I just did a 24-hour fast. It was awesome.
Yeah, I would say that Niners team, that Rams team the Patriots against 53.
53, that's a good Rams team.
That was a good Rams team.
That was a very good Rams team.
I think if Jared Goff won that game, they would never have traded for Matt Stafford.
No, yeah, he fell off. That Super Bowl crippled him with the Rams after that.
He
We thought
honestly
he was done.
he never played that bad either.
Yeah. After that,
But
he really fell off. The best thing for him after that was traded to the Lions, obviously.
yeah, it was the best thing for both teams. Lions rebuilt their team.
Yeah.
They from every single pick, and then the Rams were able to
What
retool.
would you say is the worst out of all these teams we've got up here? What would you say is the worst team in this Super Bowl? It's the least deserving to be in any of these Super Bowls for the past 20 years that we're looking at here. What would you say is the worst team that's in there? I might go with. Oh man, there's some.
Yeah, I might go with the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40.
Seahawks Super Bowl 40. Yeah, yeah, that they're a
Because
little tough.
I remember, like they won. Like you think the Chiefs won a lot of games by close ones? Like that was the Seahawks that year.
Yeah.
They won a lot by like some lucky bounces.
How good was Tampa Bay that one year? Not the Tom Brady one, the Tampa versus Raiders.
Oh, they were the top defense. They're like considered one of
Their
the top defense of all
their
time.
defense was stellar, right?
They got like 3 defensive touchdowns that game. Actually, maybe more, like 4.
Yeah. You know who you could actually argue too is the Eagles Patriots game.
That Eagles team was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
They were pretty good, but I mean,
That was Jeremiah Trotta, who actually is kind of funny. He's actually 20 years after the fact. His son's now playing in the Super Bowl
interesting.
next week. But that was a good Eagles team. I mean, that was with T.O. on the Eagles. I mean, they were just playing a team at their peak.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could also argue Super Bowl
Giants.
42 Giants are the worst team, which is why it makes the Super Bowl so good because they're the worst team on this entire list, and they beat the best team on this entire list.
I don't know. I think the Bears in Super Bowl 41. I mean, they were good. They're obviously the defense carried them the whole year, and Devin Hester had some pretty clutch special teams plays. But I would say the Bears. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Bears are the worst one on this list.
The Bears. I'm trying to find their record.
I think they're like 10-6 that year.
13-3.
They were 13-3 that year? Really?
Good team.
Well, you know what?
I think you just ate your words a little bit.
I think I did.
13-3. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
With Rex Grossman, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he didn't start the whole year, but really?
Rex Grossman, yeah. Weird, right?
That's interesting.
Cardinals were a good team that year.
They were 9-7. They were like another Giants team. Like they just won. They got hot at a good time.
Saints, were the Saints good that year they won?
Yeah, they were 13-3 that year.
13-3.
That was great because it was everyone's number one team. Like, because they were both undefeated up until like week 13.
Right.
Like everyone's like, oh my gosh, 2 undefeated teams could like go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, didn't happen, but they were like neck and neck for a while, record wise.
Yeah, they're all pretty good teams though.
Okay,
yeah, Seahawks got some weak spots there.
The best team to win out of this whole list now. The best team to win.
You actually know who's actually really not good, and they won the Super Bowl was the Patriots. The Patriots versus the Rams that year. The Patriots were not that great that year.
I know. That's what I mean. After the Falcons after 51. I did not really think the Patriots were that dominant. They had an easy division at the time. I mean, let's be honest, they always had an easy division, but at that time, especially, the division was really easy, and there was just there was no contender. Like they didn't have a Patrick Mahomes like nipping at their ankles. Like
yeah,
it was a pretty wide open AFC at that point. I would say for majority of this time, the NFC had a better team overall. I'm talking about conference wide, not like the team that won or two. I think the NFC just was a stronger division for most of it. I think in the most recent years, the AFC has had stronger teams.
Dang. That game was 13-3. Patriots 13.
I know.
Horrible.
Like, a good thing that came out of it was the fact that I won $1,100 in Super Bowl squares. So, who is your best team to win then?
The best team out of all these teams?
Yeah.
Like, who the
Out of all the
last
winners,
team out of all these teams I'd want to face, to be honest, is the 2007 Patriots.
No, I'm talking about like all the teams, the best teams to win.
But out of
in
all
this
the
whole
ones
list.
that won, who's the best to do
Out of
it?
all the ones, who's
Like,
the best
who's
one?
the scariest team out of all of them?
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think would beat every single one of those winners on this list?
It's hard not to talk about the Patriots. It's hard. I'll be honest too. Rams in Super Bowl 56, that's a stacked team, dude.
Was.
They've got Von Miller, Aaron Darnold. I think they've got Ramsey. They've got Ramsey at corner. They built a temporary super team that got it done.
I would even pick the Rams Super Bowl 34, the greatest show on turf. I mean, their offense was like the best offense, probably
and that MVP Cooper Kupp, the true MVP that year, Cooper Kupp. They've got him on that team also.
Yeah,
that's a pretty nasty team.
Yeah,
it's a pretty nasty team.
You can also argue the Super Bowl 55 Bucks with Tom Brady. They had a good defense that year. I mean, you had
they didn't like clobber people though, but when they got in the playoffs, they smashed people in.
Yeah,
that's when Tom Brady. There's something about Tom Brady in the playoffs. Obviously, he just triggers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the Seahawks, 2013 Seahawks. They were a good team.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one, because it's hard to just pick one for me.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the 1999 Rams. Like, on their offense alone. Like, yeah, the Chiefs are most recent example because of their speed.
Yeah.
But the greatest show on turf, I mean, oof.
It's hard not to say Tom Brady. It's hard not to say Tom Brady is not on the best team on here.
But the best Patriots team lost. So I feel like the years that the Patriots won, they were a good team, but they never reached that same pinnacle as the 2007. That was their peak in my mind. They were rising, and early on they peaked at Super Bowl 42, and then they leveled off. And then starting with Super Bowl 51, they started regressing after that. Like, clearly regressing.
Super Bowl 51, Falcons record. That was a good team too, actually, that Falcons team.
Yeah, but they had no defense. I mean, that was evident in the Super Bowl. Like, even that whole year, the defense did not play great.
I don't know, man. That Rams team is scary too.
I know. Trust me, they would be my top ones.
That's a scary team.
Yeah.
That early Bucks team is scary too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary defense.
Their offense was not great either.
No.
I guess I'm doing more complete teams.
Yeah.
But actually, if we're just gonna talk about defense, I might go with the 2000 Ravens, because that defense was probably the best defense since 2000. My opinion.
Looking at a quick thing, this guy put together the best NFL teams of all time. I guess they're all going to be old teams because they were better back then. Yeah, everything here is all old teams.
Yeah.
See anything new?
You got to say
amazing.
Like best team.
So on this list, the number 2 team, which didn't even win the Super Bowl, was the 2007 New England Patriots.
Number 2?
The number 2 team of all time. They've got the 2007 New England Patriots. What's that?
Who's number one?
Miami Dolphins.
Okay, but
1972 Miami Dolphins, undefeated.
okay, but they won.
But they won, yeah.
So you're talking about like the '73 Dolphins? Hmm. I see. I'm sensing some bias there.
Oh yeah, me too. A little bit. A little bit.
All right, so should we just go into our predictions for this Super Bowl coming up?
Yes, I think the refs are too much under a spotlight. I think the game's going to go to the Eagles.
I think it has nothing to do with the refs. I as much as I'd rather see the Chiefs win over the Eagles, I might have to give this one to the Eagles if I'm being objective. Just because I hate saying this, Saquon Barkley will probably be the greatest challenge the Chiefs are going to face.
Chiefs have a really good rushing defense. We're literally watching the best. I believe it's the best rushing defense going up against the best running back.
I think, yeah. Well, of all time.
No, this year.
Okay, I'm like, yes, yeah, this year, yes. But I think Saquon Barkley just adds another dimension. I mean, I think the Chiefs were able to beat the Eagles last time because they had a good defense, but the Eagles were, I won't say one-dimensional, but you know who they were going to. Like, Jalen Hurts was going to try to carry that team. So if you can stop Jalen Hurts, you can stop the Eagles at that time.
Yeah.
Now I think it's like if they don't, they're going to try to give it to Saquon. They're going to prioritize Saquon, and then Jalen Hurts is going to like go out to someone else like Dallas Goedert or AJ Brown. Like I think this Eagles team is going to be harder to beat than last time.
Yeah, I agree. Plus, Devonta Smith is more developed now. Young guy then, more of a veteran status to him coming in. And I also think, and there's Barkley also.
Yeah. Barkley, like Miles Sanders was decent, but he's not Barkley.
Nowhere near. I think Swift was a better running back than no.
Than Sanders.
Sanders, yeah. Swift was a better running back than Sanders, in my opinion.
But Barkley's
and Barkley's next level.
Yeah. So
Barkley's two guys ahead of that.
I'm going to say 31-28 Eagles. That's my official prediction.
Yeah, the way it feels is it's going to be some BS again. If this is where you're going to see some baloney, and people will get so upset if this happens, Dave. Let's play make believe for a second.
Yeah.
If this happens, I'm curious what you think the NFL fan base is going to do. Right now, everyone believes, okay, it's going to be a close game, and the Eagles in the last minute of the game are going to throw the ball downfield, get a horrible pass interference call, get into field goal range, and kick a field goal to win it. What are you doing if that happens?
I'm going to watch the next season and the season after that.
I know, but what would your thoughts be? How does this crap keep happening? If that happens again?
Well, listen, I'll put it this way. Like, I even say while you're away, I'm like, what people are seeing happen to the Chiefs, like where it seems like they get all the right calls. The same thing happens to the Patriots, and no one cares anymore. So I think life is going to go on. They're going to find a new team is going to get hot after the Chiefs when they're not relevant.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's.
That's
here's
what's
the
going to happen.
difference. The Patriots back in the day at least would demolish people. People are very
demolish people.
They didn't play like the Chiefs did this year.
Tom Brady wants to say like, oh well, you know, he's roughing the passing call is like terrible when he's going out of bounds. Like, Tom, if someone like if they even looked your way at look at you the wrong way, they got a penalty. So like, there's a little bit of double standard there.
No, but here's the difference. The Patriots would whoop on more teams than not, right? When they were having their great years. The difference is this year, it feels very forced. It feels very much like the Chiefs are barely winning, and then they get bailed out by the refs. Like not just like a couple games. It feels like the whole season that's been happening to the Chiefs. Now we're here with them going into the Super Bowl.
I think that's just isolated this year.
What do you
I
mean?
mean, I don't think. I mean, I think people are. There's more of a magnifying glass on the Chiefs because they had a bunch of games that went their way due to a call. I'm not disagreeing with it,
Yeah,
but at
but
the
it
same
happens
time,
every year too. So it
but
happened a lot
it,
this year, and it's happened a lot previous years, but a lot this year.
the best teams are the ones that typically find a way to win. So
No. Hang on. I don't like that statement. People, that's what everyone's been saying right now. Take that statement right there is wrong. They find ways to win. No. It's one thing to be a great team and have a great coach like Andy Reid, right?
they do.
Right. Great coach, great staff, like great team. Not going to take that away from the Chiefs. Absolutely. But they're not getting the right, if they're not winning by the right plays, they're winning by the right calls by the refs.
But they had to make the right plays after those calls. Like the calls didn't make him score.
Yes, that's how they beat the Bengals. They got the good plays with the who was it? Kyle Pitts in the end zone with pass interference.
If they got a call that helped him out, then it was still on the other team to stop him from scoring.
No, they kicked the field goal.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, your success rate of kicking a 40-yard field goal is super high.
Block a field goal?
No, I'm not. You're not listening to what I'm saying. That's not why people are pissed about it, because
I'm saying they've definitely made it easier for them to score.
But yes, so basically, Dave, here's the difference. Here's the difference.
On the other team to stop them.
No, here's the difference. They went from being 4th and over 10 yards for a first down when they're playing the Bengals, right? They're like fourth and 19 or something like that. They chuck the ball downfield. They get a pass interference call. That was a bad pass interference call. It was debatable.
On all those deep junk balls, you're more than likely going to get a pass interference no matter what team you are. Okay? Now, do I agree with like the chicken shit? Oh, let me run towards the first down, go out of bounds.
Once and that, yeah.
Flop. See, I disagree with that. I am totally with you. I will defend that.
He does that all the time. You'll see him. He'll hold on to that until the fourth quarter.
But to say that the Chiefs are the only team to get like these stupid pass interference calls, I'm gonna say no.
No, I'm not saying they're the only team. I'm saying
every single team and
you're not listening, dude. You're not listening. They get the right calls in the right moment that bails them out at just the right time. That's the difference. Other teams get those calls, yeah, and they'll get them against the Chiefs too. Don't get me wrong. But they get the right calls in the right moment at the right time too consistently. That's the problem people are seeing. Am I wrong?
This year it was pretty bad.
So I'm not wrong. Thank you.
I'm not saying it's impulsive. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a
but you can't say like, oh well, they're well coached. No, that's not being well coached.
Well, they are.
They're well coached, but Dave, the difference is a bad call and a good call.
Well, they're not
makes
a bad
them lose to the Bengals and not lose to the Bengals. Makes them lose to the Falcons and not lose to the Falcons. And it has nothing really to do with their play call. Of course, when there's like a couple seconds left on the clock, and if you hit a field goal, you're gonna win. Sure.
I'm gonna get another clip made of me. I'm gonna get roasted again, aren't I?
Yep. You're gonna call it a thumb.
Forget about the Super Bowl. You're just gonna make it about the Chiefs.
Yeah. Am I right or am I right? That's the difference. That's why, yeah, like there's always holding that can be called, and they'll wait till like the last like 4 minutes to make the calls on the holding for the offense that's playing against the Chiefs. They do it every time, dude. It's the same crap. You always see some pass interference BS call. You always see some crappy false start call. And you always see some dumbass Patrick Mahomes run off along the sideline.
You know this line well. The better I am, the luckier I get.
No, it has nothing to do with luck. Luck would be nailing a 70-yard field goal, right? That's luck. That's luck and like skill, repetitiveness. That's what that comment refers to. Not luck is being positioned by them to be making a 30-yard field goal.
Okay. Well, this will be a great Super Bowl. I wish you can spend it with me. I wish I could watch the Super Bowl with you. We would have an awesome like play by
We
play
would.
or a Super Bowl viewing stream.
We would.
It would be play by play. Like we would be better than Manning Cast.
We would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
We could be heroes.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, apparently Sunday nights we do very well streaming. We hit
Well,
like 14 viewers at one point.
Okay, I'll take
Versus
it.
we get like nobody except for Will. Will and icing in my car studs.
We'll keep it in the database for next year.
Yeah, keep it in the database. However,
So
usually games go on right now, but whatever.
Yeah. Are we gonna do a after Super Bowl episode?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going on. Did I tell you I got invited on one of my buddies' podcasts? They just like recently started it up.
Oh, so you're gonna leave me now?
No, I'm going on for like a week.
Are you in syncing me?
You're unsynced. No, one of their buddies couldn't make it, so like, hey, could you come in and fill in? I was like, heck yeah, I could fill in.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Part.
What's that?
They're missing the best part of the duo here.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I didn't want to tell them that yet. I'm like, you guys invited the wrong guy.
All right, cool. Well, I'll see you after Super Bowl then.
Yep, we'll do that. All
All
right.
right.
Well, I miss you. You look gorgeous.
I miss me too.
Yep. All right, bud. I'll talk to you later, guys. If you're there, we will be live again. You want to go? Should we go live before the Super Bowl? Oh,
Yeah, I
we'll
think
be
we
live
could.
whenever.
Yeah.
We'll be live. Don't worry
You'll
about
see
it.
us.
You'll see us.
Yeah.
I'll see you. You see us. All right, guys. We're out of here. Everyone have a great night. Extreme Jellyfisher. Go Birds. Go all 5 of those teams. Go Birds. See you guys. Peace out.